welcome you all to the chemistry class. How are you all? Fine. Did you all enjoy your online classes? Yeah, good. Can you remember our chemistry class? Last chemistry class? Yeah, what we have learned? We have learned about changes of matter due to pressure. Can you remember that? Yes. What we have learned in that? Yes, while we apply pressure to matters, that is solid, liquid or gas, what happens we have learned. Can you remember what is liquefaction? What is liquefaction? While we apply pressure to a gas, it changes into a liquid. Example LPG, CNG, can you remember now? Yes. Changing the substance from gaseous state to liquid state using pressure. By applying pressure is called liquefaction. Yes, we have learned and you all remember. Did you read the question? Good. Now, our today's topic is law of conservation of mass. As the name indicates, it deals with the mass of the substance. Okay? The law states that what? The law of conservation of mass states that energy can be neither created nor destroyed in any physical or chemical change. I repeat, energy can be neither created nor destroyed in any physical or chemical change. Now, what does it mean? Consider a physical change. Physical change, for example, you are having 40 grams of ice piece. 40 grams of ice piece and 50 gram of water. Consider. Gram of ice piece and 50 gram of water. Now, when this ice melts, we get 90 gram of water. This is an example of physical change. We get 90 gram of water. Now, the mass that is 40 plus 50, we get 90 gram, right? That is the mass of the substances before change is equal to mass of the substances after change. Did you understand? What does this law of conservation of mass states? The energy can be neither created nor destroyed. That means the mass of the substances before the change is equal to mass of the substance after the change. Now consider a chemical change. I have written a chemical formula here. Can you see? This is sodium hydroxide plus copper sulfate. These both are solutions. While we add sodium hydroxide to copper sulfate solution, we get copper hydroxide. It is a precipitate. Okay? Precipitate means it settles down as some powder. That's a precipitate. Precipitate that settles down. It is given as this arrow plus sodium sulfate. Now, whether this chemical reaction holds for law of conservation of mass? Yes. Here also the total mass of the reactants, these both are the reactants, is the total mass of the reactants is equal to the total mass of the products. These are the products after reaction. Here also the total mass of the substance before change is equal to the total mass of the substance after change. So, law of conservation of mass holds for both physical and chemical changes. First we have seen physical change, right? Adding ice with water, the water we get is the mass before change is equal to mass after change. In the same way here also, when we consider a chemical change, there also the mass before change, that is the mass of the reactants, is equal to the mass of the products. Did you all understand? Yes. Now we can consider one more case, that is for some substances, for some changes. Changes like burning a wood. While we consider a wood, it is too heavy, right? You burn the wood, after that we get ash. What about that ash? Whether it is too heavy like wood pieces? No. Now, here also a change is happening. We are burning the wood. Wood is changing to ash. In this change, do you think the law of conservation of masses failed or it is succeeded? Can you guess? Here also, in this physical change also, the law of conservation of mass holds. How means, while we calculate the mass of the wood before burning, we are calculating the total mass. But after it burns, after burning, we are only calculating the mass of the ash, right? We have to calculate the gas evolved. Many gases are evolved during burning, right? We have to calculate that mass also. When we add the mass of the ash with the mass of the gases evolved, we will get the mass before burning. Did you understand? When we consider a wood and we burn it, the mass of the substance before change, that is the mass of the wood equal to mass of the ash plus mass of the gases evolved. Now did you understand? Yes. So, while we are performing some experiments to prove law of conservation of mass, we should do it in a closed container. Okay? Because many gases are evolved during the change, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. We have to calculate the mass of that evolved gas also. So, whenever we prepare or whenever we are doing some experiments to prove law of conservation of mass, that should be done in a closed container. Did you all understand what is law of conservation of mass? Come on, we can repeat once. Law of conservation of mass states that energy can be neither created nor destroyed in any chemical or physical changes. That is, the mass of the substance before change is equal to mass of the substance after change. We have considered one physical change and one chemical change. In both, the mass of the substance before change is equal to the mass of the substance after change. So, in physical and chemical changes, the law of conservation of mass holds true. Did you all understand? Now, we have completed unit 1. We can discuss the section 1. That is, after finishing the unit, you have some sections to do, right? From there, we can see the section 1 today. Now, come on. Turn to page number 22. You find exercises there. Come to section 1. Roman number A, first part, A part. Give one word or a phrase for the following statements. So, we have to answer in a single word or a phrase. First question is, anything that has mass and occupies space. Anything that occupies space Yeah. Next one. Closely packed matter with a well-defined order of arrangement is called, what is closely packed? Solid, liquid or gas? Yeah, solid. Next question. The force that attracts the particles of matter. What is the force used for binding the particles together? Yes, it is interparticle force. What? Interparticle force. Next question. The vacant spaces between particles of matter. When we consider a liquid, the interparticular space is more, right? Yes. The vacant space between particles of matter is interparticle space. This is the force to bind, that is interparticle force. The space between the particles is interparticle space. Come to the next question. Mass per unit volume. What is the definition of density? Can you remember? Mass per unit volume. So, mass per unit volume is density. Clear? Now, come to section B. Write T for true and F for false. Correct the false statements. We have to write T for true and false for F for false. Then, if it is a false statement, if you find one sentence is false, you have to give a reason for that. Okay? You have to correct that sentence. Now, the first question you see. Kinetic molecular theory of matter provides explanations regarding the behavior and characteristics of matter. It is true or false? Yeah, it is true. Next question. The particles are less closely packed in liquid state and are comparatively freer to move within the bulk of matter. True or false? In liquid, how it is packed? Yes, it is loose than solid and tight than gas. So, it is less closely packed. It is true. Come to the next question. All solids require the same amount of energy to get transformed into their liquid state. Whether it is correct or not? Yeah, it is false. Now, what is the correct sentence? Consider a stone. To change that stone to liquid, we have to put more energy. It is very, very, very heavy, right? Very, very tightly packed. Now consider ice. Ice, just if we apply little temperature, that is our room temperature, is enough to change it into liquid. So, this is false. It is clearly given here as same amount of energy. Not same amount of energy. For stone we need more energy. For ice we need less energy. Correct? So it is false. Can you understand why it is false? Okay. Next, fourth question. All the gases show almost identical state behavior at a given temperature and pressure. It is right or not? Yeah, it is true. Next question. The total mass of matter before burning a piece of wood is equal to the sum of masses of residual ash and carbon dioxide taken from the air. It is true or false? It is right or not? Say. It is false. Read it once again. The total mass of matter before burning a piece of wood is equal to the sum of masses of the residual ash and carbon dioxide taken from the air. What did I say? The mass of the ash plus the mass of the gases evolved from that wood. Here what it is given? Carbon dioxide taken from the air. So it is wrong. During burning, gases are evolved, not taken. Okay? So it is wrong. It is false. Now come to section C. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. Shall we move on to the first question? Yeah. Particles of which of the following will have the highest kinetic energy? Can you guess the answer? Air has highest kinetic energy. Comparing to water, glass and iron, air has highest kinetic energy. Then, which of the following is correct about air being a gaseous state of matter? You have learned about gaseous state, right? What are the properties of gaseous state? Now come on. We can read answers. You have to find out this answer. It has large interparticle spaces. It has a strong interparticle force of attraction. It has a definite shape. All of this. Come on. Whether it has a definite shape, gas? No, right? Whether it has strong interparticle force of attraction? No, only solids has strongest interparticle force of attraction. Now what's the answer? It has large interparticle space. Option A, large interparticle space. Move to the third question. Which of the following has the least density among the choices given below? Have learned about the density, right? What is density? Yeah, mass per unit volume. Now see, gold, chalk, water, carbon dioxide, which has least density. Least density. Yeah, carbon dioxide has least density. Move to the fourth question. Which of the following is correct at a given temperature and pressure? For particular temperature and pressure, what is correct? We can see. Density of the solids equal to density of gases. Density of liquids equal to density of solids. Density of gases greater than density of liquids. Density of liquids greater than density of gases. What is the answer? Can you guess? For a given temperature and pressure, which of the following is correct? Can you guess? Yes, density of liquids greater than density of gases. Fifth question. Which of the following actions will increase the kinetic energy of the particles of an iron rod resulting in the expansion of the rod? I repeat, which of the following action will increase the kinetic energy of particles of an iron rod resulting in the expansion of rod? What is the answer? You take an iron rod, while we are cooling it, whether it will expand? No, we have to heat, right? While we heat the iron rod, it melts and we have to expand. So the answer is heating. Move to D. Next one. Fill up the blanks with the correct choice given in brackets. Dash have fixed volume but no fixed shape as their particles are relatively free to move about. Can you guess? Solid has fixed shape. But liquids has no shape, right? It takes the container in which it is formed. So the answer is liquids. Now read with answer. Liquids have fixed volume but no fixed shape as their particles are relatively free to move around. Now move to the next question. In different dash, the interparticle forces and the interparticle spaces are almost the same, but there is difference in their kinetic energies. Do you know what is the answer? What has kinetic energy equal and interparticular? No. Which one has difference in kinetic energy and interparticular space and interparticular forces are same? What is the answer? Yeah, gases. Gases have, almost all the gases have the interparticular spaces and interparticular force equal, but it has different kinetic energies. Now, read with the answer. In different gases, the interparticle forces and the interparticle spaces are almost the same, but there is difference in their kinetic energies. Did you understand? Next question. Dash energy is defined as energy possessed by a body due to its motion. Motion, what is the meaning of the word motion? Yeah, movement, right? Now what is the answer? While a particle is in motion, the energy possessed is called? Yeah, it is kinetic energy. Fourth question. The total mass of substances undergoing physical or chemical change will be dash the total mass of substance after the change. I repeat, listen carefully. The total mass of the substances undergoing physical or chemical change will be dash the total mass of the substance after change. What is the answer? The mass of the substances before change and after change are equal. That is law of conservation of mass. Today we have learned. So the answer is equal to. Next question. 40 gram of salt in 100 gram of water when stirred well will weigh how much? 100 gram of salt in 10 gram of water. How much it will weigh? 140. How it is? This is also law of conservation of mass. Because the mass before the change it is salt and water. After the change the salt will be dissolved in water. Before change and after change the mass are equal. So they have added both the masses. 40 plus 100 gives 140 grams. Did you understand? Yes. Move to E. Match the items in column A with the most appropriate ones in column B. Come on. First one is melting. What is melting? Example, melting of ice, right? What is melting? Option C. Solid changes to liquid is called melting. That is, when we consider an ice, it is melting and becoming an water. That is, solid changing to water, liquid is called melting. Second one, boiling. What is boiling? What is the answer? Option D. Come on, we can do it. Liquid pressure equals atmospheric pressure. That is called boiling. Third is freezing. We all know what is freezing, right? What is freezing? Come on, read option A. Liquid converts to solid. Freezing means we are keeping the water in the freezer, we are getting ice pieces, solids. That is, liquid converts to solid is called freezing. Fourth one is condensation. What is condensation? Come on, read option E. Gas changes to liquid is called condensation. Next, evaporation. Evaporation means, read option B. Vaporization below boiling point. Did you all understand? Then our next class we can see section 2 K numerical equations. Okay students, get ready for that. Have a nice day. Thank you.